Making a playlist is a delicate art. It's like writing a love letter, but better, in a way. You get to say what you want to say without actually saying it.
Hey, and welcome to High Fidelity TV Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Ngo, and I'm joined by my co-host, Edwin. How you doing, Edwin?
I'm doing great.
Thank you guys for joining us. This is episode 2. We're going to be talking about High Fidelity, the TV series, season 1, episode 2, track 2. And if you want to find more of our episodes, you can find us at highfidelitytv.wordpress.com. And we're working on getting a proper domain, so bear with us. And for this episode, we're just going to be talking about episode 2. So, Edwin, what did you think about the episode?
Enjoyed it. Kept the ball rolling. I really enjoyed episode 1. Looking forward to episode 2, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, me too. A lot of notable callbacks again. More great quotable lines. A lot of laugh out loud moments. A lot of I know where that's from. I always love it when they recite a line and I'm like, oh yeah, I know where that's from. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think with the series, it's a lot of doing a modern take on something that the movie had. So when Rob is making a playlist, it would be a reference to the movie where Rob in the movie is making a mixtape.
Sure.
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like all of the rules that
it's just updated.
TV show Rob is talking about. Well, they're like the rules of making a mixtape that the movie Rob would be saying.
And do you think that translates well into the TV show? Because
I think so. It's like, it's like it's the same thing. You're picking songs and you wanna.
It's the general structure and rules that apply to like making a mixtape,
for sure,
as it does to like because she's like, obviously the first line is making a playlist is a delicate art.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like you're using someone else's poetry to express how you feel. Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the themes of this this episode. I wanted to ask you something else. I totally completely forgot. But do you think that the gender role reversal is a huge issue for you?
No, I thought it kept things fresh, and I had no issue with it. I thought it was a nice twist to the TV show. But the characteristics of both the male Rob and the female Rob, very, very similar.
Yeah, so they're both sad sacks. Obviously,
yeah.
It's more believable that John Cusack, like a mid-30s, something would be that jaded, whereas Zoe Kravitz, like a beautiful 20-something, maybe even 30-something, early 30s, late 20s.
Right.
But, I guess it's, the time of the culture, right? The young people today age a lot quicker.
Sure.
You look at like Billie Eilish, right?
Sure.
She's so mature for her age. She's 18.
Sure.
And, people go through a lot more stuff these days, a lot quicker, right?
Sure.
So I guess that's the one way you can look at it. But I also think I forgot what I was going to say. I just lost my train of thought. So let's just put a pin in that and get right into the episode.
Sure.
So as I said, Rob is making a playlist. She's making a Spotify playlist for a road trip.
Yeah.
Do you remember what she picked as the first song? Do you have it? Did you write it down or?
I didn't. I should know it.
Let me look at. This is my great reference guide here. Is Tune Find.
Okay.
Do you?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Familiar.
If I recognize a track on the show and I don't have my Shazam ready, I Tune Find High Fidelity, and they have all of every episode.
Well,
so it's Lovin' You by Minnie Riperton.
Okay.
Lovin' You.
So she's not doing an all Bowie playlist. I thought she was doing like an all Bowie playlist.
I think she mentions that once, but No. She's explaining that how important the number to choose the number one track.
Yeah, wasn't it Modern Love? By
Modern Love is number one.
David Bowie.
So she says, and that's we're gonna get into that later, but just to get it out of the way, she says track one needs to be familiar but also unexpected.
The most important track is number one. It's gotta be familiar, but also unexpected. Most importantly, it's gotta make you feel good.
I know when to go out. I know when to stay in.
So it seems like the theme of the show is pretty much flashing back to Mac, right?
Yeah, a lot of Mac on this one.
So do you think that? What do you think so far of how it's portraying that, and is it doing that effectively?
Yeah, like Mac is obviously really into Rob, and Rob gets freaked out by the seriousness of commitment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go too far ahead, although it's in this episode, but you know, the whole scene where she finds the ring and she flips out and she freaks out. It kind of shows
commitment phobia.
Yeah, the difference between Mac and Rob.
We're not really getting time to spend with Mac. We're seeing Mac through Rob's perspective, because these flashbacks are her, like her glimpse. It's, you know how it is when you break up with somebody and you're just like going through every kind of the best moments. It's like the best hits playlist.
Sure. And
you're just like looking back, but they're through her eyes. So it's like, of course she's gonna look back at him lovingly. We don't know if that's the way they were. Like one scene we failed to mention from episode 1 is how like they stayed in all the time and they made love all the time, right?
Sure.
And then they're talking about their interests. They're like, oh, let's just stay in today. Do you want to go to that concert? No, let's just stay in. Kind of, they're just like kind of nurturing and at home all the time. And
when Mac is making pasta, bolognese or whatever it is, and Rob suggests going to see the Kills concert.
Right, that's
it shows the dichotomy of where they're coming from. Like, Mac is just kind of domestic, homey, whereas Rob, you know,
I thought Mac wanted to go to the Kills concert.
No. It was Rob.
Oh.
Mac wanted it. Mac was okay. He's like, should I put the bolognese on hold?
Oh,
so he was open to appeasing her, but you could tell he was just wanting to stay at home and cook a nice meal, where Rob was a little restless. Like, she wanted to go see the Kill show, but she was willing to put aside what she really wanted. But you could tell she really wanted to go. There was like this restless energy.
Yeah, there's a conflict.
And Mac said, oh, it's just going to be a shit show, but...
Mac said that?
Mac said the shit show, and then Rob's like, well, I don't know about that, but...
Was that this episode or last?
It was this episode.
Okay.
The Kills are playing a show at Music Hall tonight. You want to go?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess I could hit pause on the bolognese.
No, it's okay. We'll stay in.
Okay, good.
It's going to be a show. There's going to be a show.
Right.
So you could kind of see some tension between the two characters. Like, Mac was... homie is the best word I could say.
A homebody.
Yeah, homebody. And Rob was this kind of this restless spirit that wanted to go out and do things.
She's conflicted.
And see things.
She's kind of like... Yeah, she's conflicted by her obligation to stay at home and be committed, or, you know, the single life. It's pretty much a conflict between, you know, domesticated or single life. So that's a great little scene to address that, pretty much.
Right.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But it's good that we talk about it, because I don't even think I put that in my notes. So anyway, let's move on to the I think the piece de resistance of the episode. Well, not really, but the woman trying to buy an MJ record.
Yes, we need a ruling. We
need
a
a
ruling,
ruling, Rob. Off the wall.
All right, yeah. Fuck it, let's do it. Okay, great.
Wait, hold up. So this man gets a pass for horn charts.
I'll give a pass to anyone who's scaled Mount Olympus, Charisse.
They were Quincy's charts anyway.
Exactly. How does it benefit society to hold Quincy's genius hostage just because the dude that sang over his shit ended up being a full-blown child molester? Allegedly.
Whoa.
Should we sell it to this lady or what?
Yeah. When I saw it, I thought it blended the part of the movie where they're deciding, should we sell this Captain Beefheart record, safe as milk, to this guy who really wants it, as well as, again, that Stevie Wonder part that I thought they were referencing back in episode 1, but it was like, yeah, both kind of blended together. I like how it did touch on current events, where,
I just called to say I love you is kind of old, and Stevie Wonder is like, does this store look like we sell a record to say I called to say I love you? Go to the mall.
And I think it touched on like the cancel culture that we have today, where if something objectionable comes up,
From the
do you
past.
totally cancel it out as if it never existed, a la R. Kelly, or whatever? And so it brought up an interesting point, where Simon brought up the point, well, if we only listen to listen to music by good people, then there wouldn't be much
Good music.
to listen to.
Exactly.
Where Charisse is like, this guy was a pedophile and a molester and this and that. And so it brought up an interesting,
you're
very
right.
contemporary...
And then they even went a step further and said, "Do you listen to Kanye?"
Yeah.
And then he had mental health. He had mental health issues, and MJ doesn't have mental health issues. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a great little debate that they brought up there, and I like how it doesn't really take a stand either way. It shows you, it brings up both sides.
Sure.
I don't want to get into it, but I do feel like I try to stay away from it. I'll still listen to MJ though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It doesn't change the way I feel about his music.
Right.
I think they should stand apart. You know what I mean?
But I think it shows how the series is bringing up very current issues without necessarily making a definitive statement, but at least addressing certain issues,
Right.
which we'll get into more.
I mean, if I went back in time and like I found out MJ was calling my mom trying to get me to hang out with him, would I go back in time and tell my mom to reject that conversation? Yeah, probably, but would I tell my mom to not listen to MJ anymore? Probably not.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there you go. Cool. Anyway, track 1, familiar but also unexpected. Flashback to more Mac as she compiles the playlist.
Going back to that flashback to Mac, and she's agonizing over the last of the top 5, and Mac says, "Why can't it be a top 6?" I think that's a very good point. Why do we have to limit ourselves to 5? Because
it's a nice round number. It's always been top 10, always been top 5.
There was I felt it was a reference to the movie where they're talking about Black Star, and one of them wants to include it, the other one not so much, and someone makes a reference to burned out instead of fading away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
As in a reference to Bowie and Black Star. And I thought, I interpret it as a direct reference to the movie of, when they're talking about Stevie Wonder, is it better to
burn out than to fade away?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice connection to the movie.
Fascinating.
I thought about that, but what am I gonna do? Not have Station to Station?
I can't believe you do that. You told me Black Star was the best record of the last 20 years.
I know.
How
I
he
said
burned out instead of fading away.
I know. I said that. You're right.
Another connection to the movie that I saw was when Rob is talking to Mac while Mac's cooking the bolognese sauce, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to get into something a little more intimate," when she realizes it's going to be a night in, and she makes reference to granny panties. And I saw it as a connection to the movie where John Cusack says something to effect that women wear their best pair of underwear in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
And so,
Completely
like,
forgot about
once they get comfortable with each other, then it's granny penny mode.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I took it.
Right, exactly. I wanted to also mention that the MJ record buying moment was one of my top 5 moments. So we're going to be doing that this time, just mentioning what's in our top 5
Sure.
moments as we talk about them, so we don't forget at the end. But yeah, I just like the fact that she's like, "So can I buy the record?" Or
Yeah.
it's like,
How are we gonna do this?
You can't
How
go
are we just
arguing.
gonna
Can
do
I
it?
just get the fucking record? And she drops a 20 there. She's like,
So, you mentioned connecting it to top 5s. I would say one of my top 5 for this episode is seeing the importance of David Bowie
as the number
to
one.
Rob's character.
Oh, right.
You know, her just dedicating a mixtape to all Bowie. So
Sure.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Okay, so probably your favorite scene here. Simon and Sharice check in on Rob, and they're listening to Prototype by Outkast.
Yeah.
Trying to get her to leave her apartment.
Is this all for the playlist?
It is indeed, yes.
Yo, I gotta tell you the truth. I like Sad Rob. Now, Sad Rob has good taste.
You know, you really shouldn't keep them piled up like this because it gets really pressured.
Oh no, you gotta get King Curtis on your playlist. A must.
And she's compiling her record collection for the playlist, I guess, right?
Yes.
She's like, and Sharice is like, all this is for the playlist, right?
Yes.
And then you want to mention what
Yes.
Simon says?
Yeah, this is gonna be my number 2 top 5 moments where
Probably my number 1.
he makes the comment about stacking the records and it's all pressurized.
You know, you really shouldn't keep them piled up like this.
Yeah, that was great. There are certain moments in the show where you can see certain comments.
Yeah, you can see it coming.
And yeah.
Like you said, you saw it from the last episode. You're like, oh, you saw the episode stacked. So I know this thing is this comment is coming. And my number 2 moment comes from that scene as well, when Sharice says, "Sad Rob has good taste." I love the theme of saying Sad Rob or Fun Rob or whatever. A quick sidetrack, going back to the making a playlist as a delicate art, which just happens in the movie at the end when he's making the mixtape for the record writer or the music journalist.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen until the end of the movie, but we were getting it really early here, so nice little change of pace there, right?
Yeah.
So where are they trying to get Rob to go to?
To some place called DeSalle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
which
okay.
I took as a direct reference
As
to Marie
DeSalle.
DeSalle from the movie. And again, Zoe Kravitz being Lisa Bonet's daughter, Lisa Bonet
absolutely.
playing Marie DeSalle.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's
Great
these
little
layers
interconnected,
of
yes.
connection. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. And then on their way out, they're sitting on like the steps, or the I don't know what you call that. It's not a brownstone, but the steps of the apartment. And I believe Simon or Sharice mentions that this is probably another moment of mine, probably number 3. That's not supposed to be an outside sweater, which is a reference to that's a Cosby sweater.
They do keep clowning Rob's sweater.
Yeah.
But Carlos from the bodega ends up like complimenting.
How'd you remember Carlos?
Well, Carlos is cool because I think in that scene he's wearing like an MF Doom
Oh, really?
sweatshirt. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
before.
I like him too because he's just like, yes, he has character.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, why? Well, I don't think this happens till later, but he's like, you wearing lipstick, aren't you, or something like that.
Well, I would say my number 3 moment before she decides to go out with Simon Shreese, she makes a comment and is like, I'm gonna go Prince deep. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
And it's
I don't remember, but
yeah, you could tell that this is a show for music fans. Like, you know,
Okay.
there's like surface level Prince, but there's like deep level Prince. Like there's surface level
Okay.
Bowie, there's
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
level. And then again, she sees the old woman smoking across from her apartment, and that's
yeah.
when she realizes she doesn't want to end up like that. So that's what motivates her to end up going out for the night with Simon and Shreese.
Yeah. You know, I got a little ahead of myself. I said my number 1 moment was the MJ thing. I think that's probably like 4 or 5.
Okay.
But because I'm saving my number 1 for the end.
Okay.
But so I already have maybe like 2, 3, 4, maybe 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. I guess the next scene. And it's cool because the thing I love about this episode, the last episode, it was pretty much like, you know, the 6 Evil Exes,
Yeah.
Ghost of Christmas Past
Sure.
structure. This episode, it's like the playlist. You know,
Yeah.
the playlist plays throughout the episode and kind of like dictates the tone and the mood of the vibe of the whole show, of this episode. And even like you even see her say like you know how she like addresses the camera like like in narration.
Sure.
And she'd be like, next track.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like maybe Deadpool would say like, cue the song, you know, like cue that song.
Sure.
And she would be like, next track. And then I like when she's talking to Simon and she says, how the playlist. Simon asks her, "Are you gonna send this? You gonna send this to Mac?" She's like, "No." It's like this playlist is like therapy. You know, it's like, it's almost like I'm getting it out there. It's almost like, you know, like an alcoholic or a suicidal person will write something.
Sure.
You know, cathartic and then throw it away.
Sure.
You got a closer?
No, and it's killing me.
Yeah, closers are tough.
Closers are tough.
So you gonna send it to him?
No, God, no. It's like therapy, you know, for me.
But someone must have asked Rob about her date with Clyde, and Rob calls Clyde the vest again. And I think that vest, that wardrobe choice was purposeful to show him as like they see him as a very just kind of bland guy,
like a bougie ass motherfucker.
right? And so I thought that was interesting. And then as they're walking to DeSalle's, they're making comments about, I hope they don't close this spot down or something like that. And I thought it was like a comment on like gentrification and how places that have been there for so long and are so important, they get closed down for whatever reason, the value of the real estate or whatever. And I thought that was...
which brings me to my number 2 moment. Is that Boys the fucking man?
Is that Boys the fucking men?
Yeah, exactly.
Which, of course, is the callback to
Peter Frampton.
Is that Peter fucking Frampton?
Yeah.
And which is cool because in the movie he says it's just some random bouncer, right?
Yeah.
But in the TV show, it's the guy that hangs out with them at the record store.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
And they have
It's like they're all connected.
a very
It's like-
similar look on their faces as they're like staring out at the stage. And they say the same lines like something like I used to hate this song. Yeah.
Now I kind of like it.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's cool how they're all into guys too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And when they go...
Whereas the film, they're all into girls, right?
Right.
So this is our introduction to Liam.
Yeah.
He's singing a great little rock acoustic cover of I'll Make Love to You, right? Which he's singing in a very sultry, sexy, kind of Chris Isaac-esque.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's funny, like going back to the store where they're talking about what they're gonna do tonight, and Simon's like doing all these like comparisons where it's like Frank Ocean, but not Channel Orange, or Frank Ocean, but like blonde. It's like that's so.
Yeah, that's so modern.
record store guy where you're like subdividing an artist. Yeah.
Oh, well, I just said Liam is pretty much the Marine
Oh,
South
for
character,
for sure.
obviously. So
Because they do the whole thing like, oh, you should come to our record store and all that. But I
and
thought
then
it was,
she even says, "Oh, I liked your set." That's it.
Yeah.
She leaves.
I enjoyed your set, man. It was good.
Cheers, thank you. I'm Liam, baby.
Oh, Rob.
Cool. Let me get the record and a couple buttons.
Yo, can we get 3 whiskeys?
and Simon says, "Oh, you sound like Jaguar Ma," and Clarice is like, "Oh, he's just trying to impress you with, his musical knowledge." I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And then as Rob is leaving, she says to the camera, "Closers are fucking tough."
Yeah.
It's the last thing they hear, so it's the only thing they're gonna remember. And then it gets to one of the big kind of moments that we're gonna see.
Before you can get
okay.
Before you get to that, still it's where they're at the show watching Liam. After they saw Liam.
Oh yeah, they're the meet and greet. Yeah.
After that, they did do a lot of flashback. I don't know what you call it, like connections to the movie where Rob was like, "Why'd you have to, talk about the record shop?"
Oh yeah,
and Teresa's like, "I thought, we don't have any customers. I thought that was a bad thing, not a business strategy." I think that's a direct rip from
the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another funny thing I thought was Simon's like thinking of what to do after the show, like everybody does. Like, what are we gonna do next? And he's like, "Oh, I can find out where Hot Chip is DJing."
Oh wow!
And Clarice says, "Oh yeah, something about like 2000."
You mean Charisse?
Charisse.
You
Says,
say Clarice.
Sorry,
What is Hannibal
Charisse
Lecter?
was saying, "Oh yeah, something about 2007," and I thought it was funny because I personally like Hot Chip and I would want to see them DJ, but some people see them as being stuck in a certain time. It was.
Did you say you wouldn't want to see them?
No, I would.
Oh,
I would.
Okay,
But I thought it was just kind of like your average person probably wouldn't even know who Hot Chip is. Hot Chip was, but
it's a huge New York thing, right?
Well,
No?
I think anyone who's like really into music will definitely know.
And electronic music,
Sure.
for sure.
And
I know they
so-
did a lot of remixes and stuff like that.
So I it just kind of reaffirms that this show is for the music.
You're
fans.
right. Yeah, shit,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, closers are fucking tough. And then as we see Rob doing the narration, we hear "Nothing Compares to You" play. As we see a key flashback where Rob comes back home to Mac in bed. She's bringing home cat food for, I forget what the cat's name. Do you remember?
I missed it.
Marcus or something. I don't know.
miss.
I know it's important because I just remember Rob really loves the cat, and I don't know. Did they reveal? I believe they revealed it here, but I could be mistaken. But I wrote that it's the reveal that they were going to get married.
Yes.
So yeah. So this is the reveal where they were going to get married. She comes in. She sneaks into bed. He's already sleeping. He says, "You reek of cigarettes," which is probably the first sign that he should have caught right there. Like she's regressing.
Sure.
She quit for a while, and she's it's a sign. It's like red flag right there.
Let's get married. If you're still into that idea.
Yeah. I'm super into that idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think he just needs reassurance at this point, and he's like, do you still want to get married? And she's like, yeah, or something, and then he says something along the lines of that, right? Like, I'm super into that idea or something like that, and you know they have a passionate kid, and then we don't think anything of it at the time. We just think it's just like, we just think it's Rob, you know, channeling these, you know, these flashbacks, and she's just overthinking it over and over again, and but it's a key scene. It's a key scene. So we'll put a pin in that. Do you have anything to add to that right now, or
Are we going into the final brunch scene yet, or are we going?
Before that, Rob's does actually send the playlist to Mac.
Okay, yeah, and
Via text.
But she
Spotify
doesn't get any
playlist.
response back.
Well, yeah, we don't get we
Yeah.
don't. Well, she just sends it now.
Yeah.
But we won't get that till later. But yeah, okay. So my number one moment is at the end of this scene. But yeah, brunch with Cameron and Nikki.
Who are great characters.
Yeah, they're great. Is this the first time we actually see them face to face? I want to think so.
I want to think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen them yet, but yeah, it's because I'm kind of just going through the recap really quickly. When I did the recap, I just like, skimmed through the episode.
It's cool he's back in town.
Okay, good. So you're not gonna kill yourself or anything?
No, I'm not gonna kill myself. Thank you.
Okay, good. And honestly, we were both so whatever about that Lily girl.
First episode where she wants to bail on that first date that she's not feeling. Like she said, "Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom," and you see her leave, and
And then they're just
Cam and the wife, they know she's left. She's like, she left, right?
yeah, she just left, didn't she? Yeah, they don't even look.
Yeah, they
It's
know.
just-
They know how she is.
She just left, didn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
And then, which brings me to my number one moment of the episode.
What fucking Lily girl?
What fucking Lily girl?
Yeah, that's
Which
yeah.
is
What
a
Ian
direct
guy? Yeah.
Yeah, direct callback to what fucking Ian guy. Great. One of the best cappers for the end of an episode ever. I think.
Which made me think they were gonna go through the whole like dream montage of what Rob
is thinking
pictured in her mind, but it didn't go that
Yeah.
way. But I kind of thought it would. But yeah,
with what's the track that
yeah.
What was that by?
Is that like a Isaac Hayes maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's the so you know that's like that. It's from Baby Driver, I think.
Yeah.
So real quickly before we end this episode, how do you like the series so far, and where do you think it's going?
So far, so good. I'm connected with the characters.
Yeah.
I do like the television episodic format where you can develop the characters more. So I can see the show going deeper into the relationship between Rob and Mac, but I'm expecting Clyde to be more of an important
we didn't get
character.
to see Clyde this episode, right? Yeah.
I'm expecting him to be more of an important character.
Liam too, right?
Liam,
It's good to see Liam.
Yeah. I'm expecting Simon and Charisse to be more than just kind of side characters for some comic relief. I'm seeing them being more developed, so I'm looking forward to future episodes for sure.
Yeah. Me too. Same. Echo the same sentiments. I want to add as well Cameron and Nikki. I'd like to see more of them. But so far, like the show feels like it's like we're saying, it's revering as well as as redefining so far. So it's like at this point, I don't know where they're going. I think that's the excitement of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I know that they're gonna hit all the marks, and it's like a cover song, right? They're it's like some parts are recognizable.
Sure.
But a lot of it is new and it's uncharted.
Yeah.
So we don't really know where it's gonna go, and I think that's the best part of it, where we are right now.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of it,
Yeah.
and looking forward to talking with you more about it too.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. And did you want to reveal your Instagram now?
You know, hopefully I can remember it. I think it's Bedwinlee on Instagram. BEDWINLEE.
Great, yeah, and it has mostly all.
It's
your
mostly
flyers for your
DJ
gigs.
flyers. If you're in the
Yeah, you can shout it out. I don't
Orange
think we have
County,
that big
Long
of a-
Beach area, then yeah, I do DJ here and there, and I'll usually post flyers of where I'm playing at.
Yeah, and I'm following him as well on Smosef. That's SMOSEF, and you can find more of our episodes at highfidelitytv.wordpress.com. And stay tuned for episode 3, guys, and thanks for listening.